conversations with experienced immigration attorneys. My name is Anusia Mukherjee, and I'll be your host for today's important session: What asylum seekers need to know about in the U.S., eligibility, process, and challenges. Seeking asylum in the United States can be a lifeline, but it's also one of the most complex and high stakes areas of immigration law. From strict filing deadlines to complicated eligibility rules, even small mistakes can have serious consequences. That's why we're here today, to give you clarity, practical guidance, and a chance to hear directly from an experienced immigration attorney. We are thrilled to have Attorney Lal today with us. Attorney Lal is a seasoned business immigration attorney with over 15 years of experience. He currently serves as the managing attorney at Gehi and Associates, focused on H-1B, E-1, E-2 green cards, and employer compliance. Admitted to practice in the New York area and before the U.S. districts for the Southern and Eastern districts, Attorney Lal has successfully handled more than 1,000 cases, earning recognition in Marquis' Who's Who. We are welcome, Attorney Lal. It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Before we dive in, a quick but important reminder. ImmigrationQuestion.com is a two-in-one platform that connects users with licensed immigration attorneys. We are not a law firm and we are not affiliated with AILA or USCIS. All legal services are provided independently by attorneys in our network. So let's dive right into it. Attorney Lal, to start, could you walk us through who is eligible to apply for asylum in the United States? And what are the key factors to determine eligibility?
Asylum is basically for people who are afraid to go back to their home country based on certain grounds. Generally, there are five grounds: race, religion, nationality, particular social group. And then generally, this is how the process works. If you are already in the US, you would normally file your asylum application with USCIS, which is called affirmative asylum. But somehow, if you are end up in removal proceedings, maybe you entered through crossing the border and then you are arrested, detained, and you are in front of an immigration court. In that case, the asylum application you file is called defensive asylum application. With respect to affirmative asylum, where you have filed your asylum application with USCIS, normally you would submit your asylum application, they will schedule you for an interview, and after the interview, they will decide your case. If they grant you asylum, if the USCIS grants you asylum, you can apply for a green card after 1 year. If they do not, it doesn't mean that your case has been denied. If the USCIS does not grant your asylum application, they will refer your case to immigration court. And the immigration court will hear your case one more time and then decide whether to grant or deny the asylum application. That's how normally the process works.
Right. One of the biggest challenges is the 1 year filing deadline. Can you explain what this deadline means for asylum seekers, and are there any exceptions?
This deadline is very, very important. Essentially, what the law says that to be eligible to asylum, you should be filing your asylum application within 1 year of your entry to the US. Either you came with a visa or you enter the US by crossing the border. In either case, your asylum filing deadline is 1 year of your entry. If you do not file your asylum application, it will not be approved unless you fall under certain exceptions. Certain exceptions may include changed circumstances or changed country condition or certain extraordinary circumstances. Maybe you were sick by the time of your deadline, you were very, very sick. Or there is another exception which sometimes may work out. Maybe you were already in the US in a valid non-immigrant status. That's why you did not file your asylum application within 1 year of your entry. So these are certain exceptions that despite you filing your asylum application after 1 year, asylum can still be approved. But if you do not fall under any of those exceptions, even if you have a very good case for asylum, either USCIS or Immigration Court will not approve your asylum application.
Thank you for that. What are the most critical steps applicants should take to make sure that their asylum application is filled correctly and completely?
So, first of all, on Form 589, on which you file your asylum application either with USCIS or with Immigration Court, on certain sections on that form, you should provide a detailed explanation of whatever the question is. You should not say that C statement or C attached. Provide a detailed explanation in the form itself. Because normally, when I appear in the immigration court, the judges are not happy seeing uh, the 589 and where it says please see attached or see statement or see memorandum. They want to see your information on that form. Second thing is the judges give a lot of attention to your statement. So your statement should be explanatory, detailed, and very precise in terms of date, facts, etc. Because at your merits hearing, or what is called the individual hearing, the judge or the government attorney is likely to go through or maybe grill you about whatever facts that you have stated in your statement. So make sure when you are submitting an asylum application, your statement is detailed and very precise.
All right. Many people struggle with gathering evidence to support their claims. What types of documentation or testimony are the most persuasive in asylum cases?
So, firstly, your statement itself is um, a testimony that the judge or the government attorney they're most likely to rely on that. Other than that, what you can submit in terms of documentation, for example, you were persecuted in your home country and you were physically injured, you reported to the police. In that case, you will have to submit the police records, the hospital records. And in addition, what you can submit is documentary uh, support letters, meaning people who are familiar with your facts, either they are in the US or outside US, maybe your family, your friends, other people who are familiar with your situation or the facts of the case, they can issue support letters. That adds a lot of value to your case. And you can also submit condition report or expert reports relevant to your case. You can also submit newspaper or magazine articles which substantiate whatever you are asserting in your statement. These are the documents you can submit to make your case strong.
All right, thank you for that. So, also, asylum interviews can be intimidating. What practical tips do you recommend for preparing, and how can applicants handle tough questions from officers?
We get this question a lot because a lot of people they file their asylum application with USCIS on their own without an attorney help. And then they come to us once the interview is scheduled. At that stage, you can still take in help from an attorney. What an attorney can do is attorney can review your application at whatever you have submitted, and maybe attorney can attach a legal brief explaining how you qualify for asylum, maybe add more documentation such as condition report, and suggest you also what you can submit to make your case strong. And with respect to the questions, yes, few interviews that I have seen, they can be very tough. The officer can would want to ask a lot of questions depending upon what kind of case, what the facts of your case are. So if you retain an attorney, attorney can help you to how to properly frame your answer, how to give the details of your case, and not to speak, not to give irrelevant facts of your case. So attorney help is very crucial, very relevant in these cases.
Thank you very much, Attorney Lal. This session has so far has been very highly informative. To everyone joining us from Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, thank you for being here. Whether you're a legal professional, community advocate, or someone just looking to understand this better, we're grateful to have you. And if this is your first time with us, welcome. We are immigrationquestion.com, a two-in-one platform built with outstanding features to help simplify the immigration process. Though we are not affiliated with AILA, we are trusted by many AILA attorneys who use our platform. With immigrationquestion.com, you can ask your immigration questions for free in any language and get connected with the licensed attorney for legal guidance. And yes, just like many of our users, you may receive a free confidential initial consultation. Just visit www.immigrationquestion.com to learn more. And it gets better. We just launched our new mobile app designed to make access even easier, whether you're a user or an attorney. Now, Attorney Lal, as an attorney with extensive experience across immigration law and litigation, how would you describe the My Legal software, uh, system, as well as how it's helped you in your practice?
I mean, it's a great platform. Since I practice both the areas of law, meaning I do practice removal defense, I also practice business immigration. And most of the software in the market, they either cater to one kind of need. Maybe they are good for either business immigration or maybe only for removal defense, but not for both kind of practices. But this is a particular only unique platform which serves both kind of needs. It serves the attorneys who practice business immigration as well as removal defense. That's how I describe it, this platform.
Thank you so much for that. We never get tired of hearing such feedback, and it's gratifying to know that attorneys are being helped by this software. So we're now going to move on to our live Q&A session. So if you've got a question for Attorney Lal, now is your moment. Drop your question in the chat or call us live at 516-703-3483. Right, our first question is, what happens if I don't apply for asylum within 1 year of arriving in the US? Will I use my chance completely?
Well, not necessarily that you will lose your chance completely. As I mentioned, even if you have not filed your asylum application within 1 year, you may still fall under the 1 year exceptions. Exception can be anything, change circumstances, some extraordinary circumstances, maybe you were sick, or maybe you were in a non immigrant valid status. So, if you are in such a situation, please consult with an immigration attorney who can evaluate whether your case falls within 1 year of exception or not. And if your case is already with immigration court, the attorney can submit a legal brief addressing that how your case falls within their 1 year deadline, exception to the 1 year deadline.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Next question is, can I work with while my asylum case is pending, and how long does it usually take to get a work permit?
So yes, once you get your EAD, you can work legally in the US. And generally, the EAD time frame varies, but particularly with respect to asylum EADs, USCIS has been very prompt these days. Our office has been receiving EADs within 1 year of one month of filing asylum-based EADs. For other categories of EADs, yeah, we do see a lot of wait time, but particularly for asylum EADs, we are getting them within 1 to 2 months.
All right, thank you. Next question is, what's the difference between applying for asylum affirmatively to USCIS and defensively in immigration court?
So if you are filing your asylum affirmatively with USCIS, in that case, you will be scheduled for an interview with USCIS. But somehow you're already in the immigration court, then you cannot file your asylum application with USCIS because you are already in removal proceedings. You can only file your asylum application with immigration court. So it's not a choice. It just depending upon the circumstances where you are in the process. If you are not in the immigration court process, you will have to file your asylum application with USCIS. And if USCIS does not approve your case, they will refer you to the immigration court where you can renew your asylum application. That's how the process works.
All right, thank you. Next question is, If I win asylum, can I bring my family members, and how long does the family reunification process take?
It's a good question, very great question. If you have received asylum, if either USCIS or Immigration Court granted you asylum, yes, you can bring your family members. They will come as derivative to your asylum application. Only problem that we see in our practice, it is a process requires a lot of time. It may take up to easily 1 to 2 years to bring your family members here.
Alright. Next question is, if my asylum application is denied, will I automatically be deported?
Well, not necessarily. It depends upon where your asylum application is. If the asylum application has not been approved by USCIS, then it will be referred to the immigration court. And the immigration court will hear your asylum application. If your case is with immigration court and immigration court denies your asylum application, then the denial order or the removal order does not become final after the 30 days has passed. And within 30 days, if you file an appeal with the Board of Immigration Appeals, then your removal order stays automatically, which means the government cannot deport you as long as your appeal is pending with the Board of Immigration Appeals. So, to answer this question, you will not automatically be deported once your asylum application is denied.
Thank you. And then our last question for the day is, can I still apply for asylum even if I enter the US without inspection at the border?
Yes, so if you entered without inspection, most likely you will be filing your asylum application with the immigration court, not with USCIS. But yes, even if you entered without inspection, you can still file your asylum application.
Thank you so much, Attorney Lal, for sharing those clear and practical insights. This information is invaluable for anyone navigating the asylum process and trying to understand both their rights and responsibilities. To our audience, thank you again for joining us. We hope this conversation has given you clarity on filing for asylum in the US. Don't forget, at immigrationquestion.com, you can ask your immigration questions for free or get in touch with a licensed attorney who understands your case. You may also be eligible for a free confidential consultation. So head over to immigrationquestion.com and sign up today. And if you want to revisit this session or share it with a colleague, you can click the replay button on Spotify. Just search for Borderless Talk by immigrationquestion.com. Join us again next Wednesday for an enlightening conversation on a burning immigration topic. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Thank you again, Attorney Lau, for joining us. It's